Ah, okay.
Yes. So the funny thing is the picture, the banner for Steve, right? He sent me that picture, and then I rotated it and put that stuff on it. And apparently, it's a real picture. Like that's straight up a picture from high school, which is hilarious
No.
because he looks the same. No, I'm kidding. I
No,
love you,
no,
Steve.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to yet another episode of The Gloving Paradigm, where I am your host, Peter, aka LPD Dubuque, and with me today is a very special guest. And guys, sure already know who this is. He's been on my channel a couple of times now. I think by the time this one came out, at least 2 episodes have been out. The third one's already ready to go for next month, for March. But Dustin,
Hello, it's
aka
me,
Snaps.
aka Snaps.
aka one of the moderators for what we're going to be doing today, which is watching more pit battles, because you guys apparently like watching pit battles with us, so we're going to do another episode. But yes, Dustin, so what are you excited to see?
Well, I haven't been pulled as a for people who don't know, right? I'm coming up on like 2 years of actually seriously gloving at the end of March. So like I'm pretty new to the game, but like I've had quite a handful of people tell me like that I know how to articulate shows pretty well, and I can kind of break things down in a very like fair way. So like I serve as a good judge, but I just haven't been recently. So if anything, I'm just stoked to see shows where I actually get an opportunity to kind of like examine it instead of just like clicking it because it's there while I'm at work.
Well, I was just going to say, have you been on watching any pit battles today? Because we're just going to usually do what I like to do, which is just go on to pit battles, hit recent posts as the filter, and look at the first 4 that show up.
So I have not sat down and looked at a light show and watched it like fully. I'll click on it, watch like the first minute, and I'm like, okay, whatever. And then that's pretty much the extent of the attention it gets from me. I dropped something. So yeah, it'll be nice to like be able to do this, be a part of this. So thank you for having me.
Oh yeah, I was definitely wanting to. It was just kind of funny to me because I was just sitting there going like, it's been a while since I did a pit battles episode, and I just need another person to come on, and I was like, you know what? See if Dustin's up for it. So why not?
You know my hours, bro.
Right? So
Yeah.
Yep, so as you guys are probably seeing on the screen right now, we are at the wonderful, wonderful pit battles.
I don't see it yet.
I
You
should.
didn't.
Oh,
You have to. Yeah, you didn't stream it on Discord, or you did and it went away.
okay. Let me correct myself then.
1 minute, 37 seconds later.
As you guys can probably see, as always, pit battles. Stock photo of somebody. I think this one's hilarious, but
Off to the Shadow Realm, dude.
Right. You guys always know how I go about this. We come down here, click on the filters, hit recent posts, and that is what we're going to be seeing now. So, the first one that we see is Catfish versus Matt Troop. Catfish, I'm not familiar.
I'm not familiar either, and I think I've judged one of Matt's shows. All right, looks like there's no judgments on it yet either.
Besides Danny, which Danny's always...
Yeah, but
especially if it's 3 judges and they just have popular vote for the fun of it, which I will still say to this day I will encourage, just because it's really nice to see how the public feels compared to how judges actually feel, because we always have that kind of discourse between the audience and the judges actually having differing opinions, and it's just nice to see that range of opinion.
Yeah, I mean, there's countless pits where you'll see that happen, but let's watch this first pit.
All right. Well, the first one up would be
Watch it. I want to see it.
Would be catfish. So we're gonna see what catfish gets to do.
What's funny is if you pause it, so the person's name on Facebook, I believe in Vietnamese is catfish. I could be wrong. On Facebook, I think it's
yeah. Okay, yeah. I see what you mean.
I like, because I know that first word is fish. I don't know what the second word is. I assume it's cat. So
your guess is as good as mine, my friend. So
yeah.
But I will certainly say, without further ado, catfish, show us what you got.
Show me what you got.
Oh, this song's tripping me out.
Yeah, I'm actually already enjoying that.
Không cần tìm nên anh cũng không cần sprite. Bảo em thứ hai cầm lucky strike là đủ. Lâu khi ngày thường anh rủ em overnight. But bây giờ bao giờ hết chai để ngủ. Anh gọi cho em xong rồi mình quên đi. Bỏ mascara cho em ở trên mi. Nên fuck những thứ mà làm em thêm suy.
Okay, I'm starting to see what was kind of like the traits of Vietnamese gloving.
Yeah. We'll talk about it when the show's done.
Oh yeah.
Mỗi lần nghe tên mình được gọi, nói thầm em vào tai, nhìn vào mắt em cười lúc em đang có chuyện kể lại. 2 giờ sáng em cầm điếu thuốc và Nike Air nó vẫn còn trắng, đan hai chân vào nhau thật chát khi em thu mình dưới ánh trăng. I'll be low key là forever boy. Nghe người ta bảo vậy họ gọi anh là low key genius boy. Nên phải tính sao đây khi mà không cần mặn mà nếm vào hoa, không cần gặp là đến vào bar, không cần đặt cả tên hào hoa khi Jordan để giày anh còn phá. Dòng biển mùa Circle K, để dành cho em vào buổi tối. White Supreme và Cartier.
I'm really just loving the whole depth perception manipulation that he's playing with.
Rolling em đặt dây lên môi. Girl you balling để phần thừa cháy xong thôi. All black in Nirvana. Em nhìn anh đắm đuối khi môi em không bao giờ nguội. Anh vẫn không cần tìm nên anh cũng không cần sprite. Bảo em thứ hai cầm lucky strike là đủ. Lâu khi ngày thường anh rủ em overnight. But bây giờ bao giờ hết chai để ngủ. Anh gọi cho em xong rồi mình quên đi. Bỏ mascara cho em ở trên mi. Nên fuck những thứ mà làm em thêm suy. Để cho người không cần thiết thì nên đi. Cause I don't give a shit.
I want to point out something. The person behind him is finger tutting. You can see, there's someone behind him. Like, if you go back like 30 seconds, 40 seconds.
Alright, I gotta see this.
Yeah. So play like right at 2 minutes. Watch, you're gonna see their shadow, their silhouette.
Oh my god.
He's it's kind of comedic.
It kind of reminds me of Whip Olympics 2, where the dude shows up and it's like yeets out of the room immediately.
Yeah. Well, so like, what would you say are like the identifying factors of like, oh, you can tell they're a Vietnam glover?
Okay, so the reason why I even said that is because I've seen a good amount of like Void Dreamer shows, right? A lot of the people who are actually from the Vietnam area, from like the IGL comp, from a few of the pit battles as well, just all the like coverage that I've done already. I've just so happened to watch a good amount of the Vietnam scene. And there's this interesting approach that I just notice a lot of them take when it comes to gloving, right? To their concepts and to their techniques that I don't think people have recognized yet, but they have this very interesting scope of space. Like, they definitely work within this sphere that's in front of the viewer. They don't use a box. They work more in this sphere of space. So what you tend to see with them a lot is they kind of like are applying sphere theory to like platforming in a way, because they use a lot of different depth perception where they have something in the front and something in the back, but it's still within this sphere of work. It's very interesting. I definitely would say that show definitely typified a lot of the things that I saw that's commonalities between a lot of the Vietnamese gloving scene.
I was gonna say,
but
that
what
a lot
else
of
do
it.
you think though?
Well, a lot of it for me, for like Vietnamese glovers, is that they like first they approach gloving as very much as a dance, right? Like, like yes, gloving is a dance, right? But like a lot of American glovers tend to approach it with like very technique, very rigid for first. But like you can see with Vietnamese glovers, they always have like this kind of flourish with their moves. Like, even if it's simple, even if it's like not that clean, there's like a level of flourishing that comes with it. I think that's strictly because they approach it as a dance.
Yeah, and that's kind of one of the other things that you, or at least to me, that's how I felt as well, is that's kind of like a trait with the Vietnamese scene, is that you definitely have this level of dance that, I don't know, I feel like it derives from their own culture as well. And if you even like see any of the videos that like the news reports have done on Long, like you definitely see that kind of reflected in how the performance is and how it's demonstrated out in public. You know, you kind of definitely get that very traditional street performance vibe.
Yeah,
and I
sure.
think that's one of their, that's like, it's one of the key elements of the Vietnamese scene, is that there's this street performance vibe behind it all, rather than just being a simple dance or just gloving itself. It's actually a different type of
it's a performance.
Yeah,
it's strictly like performance to perform, not to record.
Yeah, exactly. It's just one of the things that I just thought was so very interesting to see. However, I really just enjoyed that altogether. One of the main reasons I really like watching the Vietnamese scene is that I'm exposed to their local music scene, right? Like, I get to hear the music that they listen to on a regular basis that's more local than what we hear over here in the States. Yeah, I don't know, there's a certain charm to it. I don't know how to explain it, but there's a certain charm to the Vietnamese scene that I've just been thoroughly enjoying. I just hope
It's
to
just
see
different.
More.
It's very different from us.
Yeah.
Their approach is very much, it's like playful but also skilled. You know, it's like when you see a dude on the street and he's like juggling 6 chainsaws and you're like, what? You can't look away because it's so captivating, like, you know?
So, but I don't know. It's going to be very interesting to see how this matches up and lines up with Matt's video.
Yeah.
I don't want to say like that was a bad pit video, but it didn't feel like he was pitting somebody. It was definitely just a kind of performance video. So I know that's not necessarily a merit towards pit battles, but some people, I've spoken to a few people and they're like, yeah, that didn't feel like a pit video, if that makes any sense.
I will for sure be giving my judgment after I watch Crypto's video.
Yeah, definitely. So without further ado though, Crypto, just show us what you got.
Show me what you got. I want to see what you got.
they make him glove to Vietnamese music too? That's hilarious.
That is quite hilarious. Interesting, he went with the modular teleporting, not the stationary.
Okay.
Kind of interesting to see another phaser.
Well, would you call it phasing, or is he just multi-mode conjuring? Or he's not conjuring, he is just switching the modes. So yeah, he is phasing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Just typical phasing.
Okay, well, I will say, I hated that ending.
Where it just faded to black as he was doing the thing.
I hate that.
This thing.
But yeah, his execution of that move specifically is great, but using it as an ending, personally, I dislike a lot. Like,
Yeah, no,
that,
me and McKinley have had a very lengthy discussion about how endings will actually make or break your show. Like,
that ending just felt very lazy. It was, it's like I'm not trying to be too harsh, but you could have decided to stop and then cut your show, but fading it out with that, I understand there's like a level of artistic merit to it, but I don't think it fits in this. I don't think it fits in this. I don't think.
Not in the case, in my opinion. I don't feel like it fits in the context of a pit battle. You know what I mean? Like in terms of like a project video, sure, because people also do like the whole like walking away from the camera, dancing, and it fades to black kind of deal, like you see in movies and stuff. But
yeah.
Yeah, this is an interesting hit.
Do you want to go first, or do you want me to go first?
Yeah, I'm gonna let you go first because I gotta think how I'm trying to dissect this.
So from what I could remember, right, and honestly, these shows are really easy for me to remember because they weren't too inherently. There wasn't enough variety for me to get lost, right? And that's like a good thing and a bad thing. If someone keeps their show simple, it becomes really digestible. But if they keep it too simple, then it gets boring.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I felt like Catfish's show was a little bit too boring for me. Because not only was it simple, there was also points of hesitation that I saw. And the placement of certain moves just did not make sense for me. Like the chorus of that, I would understand if you're throwing whips and flails, but he was doing whips and flails throughout the build up too. And then and there was like no real significant speed changes or anything. So it just kind of felt like he got choked up and hesitated. So then he went to throw with what he was most comfortable throwing, and that's his flails, which looked great.
Yeah,
they looked great. I just wished that he didn't do it for as long as he did, because after I saw 20-30 seconds of them, I was like, okay, well, this is pretty much all he's got to show me.
Yeah, I will definitely say I felt like even from both videos, like I didn't feel like we got a whole lot. No, granted, Matt actually put out like more tech-based concepts and actually went a little bit farther than what.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Yeah, with Catfish Show, to me, I will certainly say, like, if I turned off my brain, Catfish shows actually was a little bit more entertaining to me because I was able just to follow along, and he was just able to come up with really pretty patterns, and stay pretty strongly on beat and had a good sense of musicality. So I definitely was able to enjoy that. Matt's show though, that was Crypto show was very interesting in the case of his application of light use, like the light manipulation that he went with. Using modular teleporting was very interesting, which is definitely like that firefly effect where you see it moving from one point to another, not just point A and point B.
I think the thing with Crypto's show is he fell victim to the good old like starting strong and running out of gas early.
Yeah,
I think he started off really strong with that pit. I did feel like some of his, as you would call it, like the other form of teleporting, the stationary teleporting is what you called it. I think some of it felt a little clunky for me to understand. But I might just need to watch it again to understand it better, because it is something that isn't commonplace to see. Other than that, like I felt like his musicality was good. There was like one part with the beat like really switched up really weird, but luckily he was pretty much staying on the kick the entire time. So like that's like a good thing and a bad thing, right?
Yeah, the way I kind of felt when it came to Crypto show is that it kind of felt like a first take, like first time hearing the song first take, like when it completely blind. Now, that's not to say and sit here and say like, oh, well, people should actually like plan what they want to do when they go into a show. Like, no. It's more like you just listen to the song and be like, okay, I can kind of tell like what comes up as a build up, what's the breakdown, you know, where's the drop, how many drops it has. It was just kind of like a good little basic layout of what the song kind of plays through, right? I didn't feel like he knew what was happening and kind of like was moving off the cuff. So that's where it's just like,
That's why I was saying it felt like he was just maintaining like a steady beat the whole time.
Yeah.
Like he also did not have much like speed variation. From what I could recall, he did not have much speed variation either. If anything, Catfish had he had a very definitive section where he was slow and then he sped up. It was like 10 minutes after the chorus came in, he started speeding up.
Yeah.
And I could see that. Did it make as much sense as it should have? No, probably not. But like it was still there, right? The understanding was still there. This is such a tough vote, honestly.
To me, the way I've been looking at it is like, who did I enjoy more? And in all honesty, I kind of actually just enjoyed Catfish's show. And it's just, I'm not entirely sure. There's just something about Matt's show where it's just like, I saw him doing the mode changes things, and it was really cool because he was doing what I know as like pulsar phasing, which is literally just change them all at once because it just pulses into the next set.
Right, instead of like sequential.
Yeah, I'm very sequential with it. That's just because that's how I've always gone about it. And since now I actually have the lights on top, I can't pull off a Taylor. I can't just go click and get those like he does. You know,
I think. Well, it's like if I have to look at this from like a pit aspect, right? Mm-hmm. I definitely think Matt had more of like a pit battles energy with how he started up until like maybe the minute 15 mark, which is bad that he did not stay and finish strong, or even like, or have any kind of like resolution to his show. But I think in terms of a pit battle, I think he presented a better show. But marginally, honestly, I think like even though the pop vote is 7-2, I think it's a lot closer than that.
Yeah,
like,
I honestly think it's a lot closer, but I also think like with my vote being Catfish's, that's only part of.
I guess the thing is like I guess it's like you're it's like the way that I'm looking at it I'm not looking at the standpoint of like what would I prefer, right? Because I would prefer watching Catfish's show in person than Matt's. Honestly, I would prefer that, just because his show felt more fun. But in a pit battle environment, I think Matt's was better. So honestly, like I think it's just the wrong show for the occasion is what Catfish had.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that as well. Yeah.
So this is for me anyway. This is a pit that I would not vote on because of that articulation, right?
Right.
Because there's a point where it's like it's not even fair. It's like playing basketball against someone with no hands. Like, I mean, I guess people with no hands can play basketball still, but I don't know.
But to me, it's just like the way I see it. That's, gotta see what the judges say. Fortunately, we don't know because they haven't actually like voted on it. As you guys can see right here, there's not many of the comments on here. Like Joe says he will see it tomorrow because he's at a festival right now.
Who knows when he'll get to it?
Yeah, so we won't know, but it is what it is. And the way that I see it is, if you were gonna vote on it, you would go for Matt, and me voting on it, I'm going for Catfish. So that's pretty much what I did.
A standoff,
right? But hey, different opinions. That's what I want on my show. I like to see the diversity of opinion here.
Well, it's like I see it from both sides. That's why I said, like, honestly, I wouldn't even vote on it.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, let's go. Oh, man. We get to see my boy get destroyed.
Yep, so next one, though. Ooh, okay. Yeah, I'm actually kind of excited for this one.
It hurts because, like, I love Dylan so much. He is learning very quick from like, he had picked up gloving and then dropped it and then didn't pick it back up for like 8 years or whatever. So he's really like fresh, 4 months into it or some shit. I can't remember when he started. When I started being friends with him is like when he really started up again. So honestly, this was quite the challenge. Anyway.
Oh yeah, no, I'm definitely excited to see where this goes. I just find it interesting that he's going right up against Elixir, just like right off the bat. I'm just like, holy crap.
Ooh, no, my gang, what's up? That's me. Shout out my boy Rick. He made the logo for mine and Anthony's team, as you can see on the screen.
Yeah, no, I was actually gonna ask you, like, dude, when did you guys get this made? Cause holy crap.
Yeah, Rick made it.
Very nice. You know what the funny thing is? I don't know if hopefully 30K if you're watching this, go check the comments on your interview video, because somebody told you what the acronym stands for. Just
Oh, I mean, the acronym could stand for so many different things, dude.
Oh, I know, but it's ironically it was Seismic who actually commented it. So it's just like go check it out. Seismic's the one who said it.
That's my boy.
Right? But yeah, without further ado, Seismic, show us what you got.
Show me what you got.
Wow, classic song too.
Palm lights already got me in the pocket.
Can you tell I've been mentoring him?
Yes, I can definitely see it.
It's fucking weird, isn't it?
Yeah, the karate chop.
I took that from Gian. We dub it the slice.
Ah, okay.
Or at least me and Dylan do.
No, I like it. It works. Very interesting.
Yeah, I had already talked to Dylan about his show.
Alright, getting into the impacting.
Honestly, I think his impacting is coming along. I'm not teaching him any of this.
Nah, impacting is a whole different thing that you can be learning all the basic fundamentals of gloving, but then you're also learning a different set of fundamentals when it comes to impacting.
Yeah, I like that little crawl thing that he does.
Yes, it's a very Fry-esque move. Ha! Fine, very interesting that that's what he does.
Yeah, I already talked to Dylan about it, but we will talk about it after we watch Hunter's show too.
Well, I was just gonna say, is there any initial comments you want to say about that show, or is it just like we're gonna see the other show and then we'll make our statement?
Yes, I would like to watch and then make statements.
We first watch and consume content, and then we make statements about content.
I will comment about the meal after I finish eating.
Right. All right. Well, without any further ado, Elixir, show us what you got.
Show us what you got!
Interesting digiting sequencing.
That transition was very clean.
Extremely clean, and I'm really liking the color set that he has going on with his gloves right now.
His middle fingers are like very subtly different.
Yeah. Ooh, that was really good. Those are pretty creaturey clusters in my opinion.
Okay, I saw the shape he was going for there. I understood the shape he was going for there. I think he could have done it a little bit better.
Yeah. I can see where, to the untrained eye, they wouldn't have gotten it.
I definitely see what he's trying to do, and a lot of it looks really good. It's very incredibly unique, honestly. Oh. From what I remembered when I watched it a couple days ago, it felt very filler. Not a couple days ago, I guess yesterday.
Right.
Or the day before.
Okay, so there's this. This is one of those classic impacting versus non-impacting kind of show. you know what I mean, kind of pit, which is always seems to be a common occurrence for me nowadays. For every time I do Let's Watch Pit Battles, I always get like one impactor versus a non-impactor showing up. One thing I will certainly say when it comes to like Seismic Show being in here, he didn't fully implement all of his impacting in there, but with the impacting that he did provide was really strong. It's very typical for them to take a nice long intro before they actually start going into it. So I can't fault him on that, especially when the song does not give you that window of opportunity to just get right into it.
No.
I did appreciate that he used what I called the impacting cheat code. When it comes to like shorter videos, if you have the palm lights, it kind of helps give me the indicator of like, hey, I'm going to be doing impacting when you clearly don't have your iNovas on. Because I'm like, all right, I know I'm going to see an impacting show. I know what I need to be looking for, like instantaneously.
Yeah, because your focus is towards their palms more.
Yeah.
Which is where most of your thumb work can be.
Yeah, where a lot of the points and a lot of the spotlighting that you're doing, and especially with flashlights as well. I didn't see a whole lot of the crazy stuff that I like to see with impacting, but he did show a very strong foundational setup with his impacting, especially things that we saw classic staples of when it came to Skittles, when it comes to Fry and Karma, but not all there yet.
Yeah.
I will definitely say this was a very energetic show from Seismic, but when it comes to Elixir's show, definitely creature heavy, definitely a technical approach, and yeah, this is gonna be a toughie for me. But what do you think, Dustin?
So what I had told Seismic when I saw his show, and because I'm helping him learn stuff, you know, I'm mentoring him. I have to be like a little bit rougher on him so that he will learn and understand things. And the main thing that I told him is that like it's like he has all of these moves that he likes to do and these different things, right? He has all of these pieces, but the first thing that he is struggling with is like understanding how some of them connect a lot better. The first example that you could see very obviously is right at the drop where he goes into that 45. He comes out of a liquid, but in a very awkward way, and brings it into his 45. And then he does his quick sequence from the 45 into like something around over here and turns it back into liquid again. So if anything, it's kind of like a pacing issue and a transitional issue. Because I like.
Go ahead.
Because like I said, I was telling him, it's like I think the moves that you understand and the things that you do, like while you're doing them, it looks great. It's the in between each thing that makes it feel kind of choppy. And then it's like the tuts. I think the tuts is more so like he understands his tuts, but the connections within the tuts themselves were sloppy because he was rushing them. And like I said, this is all stuff that I've talked to him about already.
No, I definitely see where you're coming from. That the other thing I'll certainly say as well is I understand the whole idea of like combining concepts together, is like finger tutting and king tutting, putting them together and doing combinations like he was doing. While it was interesting, it did feel a little conjointed because when he's showing these 45 angles with his finger placements and stuff like that, and then he started doing his king tutting stuff, I wasn't seeing him actually like applying the angle that it was giving. You know what I mean? I didn't see that being applied except when he brought his hands back together.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think the illusion is to just it's a king tut with a 45 on the front of it. So it's not really 45s. It's a king tut that connects into a 45 digitally, which isn't really a 45 concept. It's just a king tut concept.
Yeah, it's just you're holding it so you can move about the space with the shapes and then bringing it back, which it can work. I just thought it was interesting, but I just thought it was kind of a little odd where it's just like, okay, you're doing these 45s, but you're not like, when you go to combine something like that, I kind of want to see this. There's a reason for it, that intentionality.
Yeah,
that a lot of people
like
look
if he used the 45 and then turned it into some kind of, I don't know how to do 45s, let alone glove. I don't know how to glove at all. So
Hey, I'm not sitting here saying I know how to do 45s too, but at least I actually understand, like, when you're showing me lines and stuff, I can draw the lines in my head. I can see the lines that you're trying to portray. And if I'm seeing these random lines that just kind of don't make sense, it just doesn't make sense to me. So it's trying to make sense of that is kind of the goal. But in all honesty, though, I hate to do this to you, Dylan, but I really kind of like the Elixir shows a lot. It was really good. Yeah, but Elixir show,
So I have gripes about Elixir's show, and I didn't really look through the judges' comments, but one of them is like, I think the fact that he is so unique with his creatures and his dial concepts, right? The way that he's presenting them is so great, but I feel like it'll look way better if he did slow it down, because it allows for the viewer to absorb it. It allows for the viewer to see the shape that he's making. For example, the one part where I was like, I could see the shape he was going for, but it was a little sloppy. He was doing a dial like this at one point, and he would shift it down over here and then shift it back up, right? I'm not doing the full hand position because I can't, but he was basically drawing a V, but right. his V was very like lopsided when he went to come back to the other side, because it felt like he was kind of rushing through it, as well as the dial themselves. I feel like there'd be a lot of dramatic effect if he like did the dial really slow.
Yeah,
like
there's a very strong effect when you actually apply this slow motion to it all.
Yeah, and if anything, I think that's like the only thing that I think he would need to apply to his shows in general, is like slowing down to flesh out your concepts to present them. Because the way he does his shows, like most of the time when I watch it, it's like he's doing the concepts for himself, right? Because like he can throw it and he can understand it because he's the one doing them, but he's not throwing them for the viewer to understand, because he doesn't give us that time. He doesn't give us that dramatic effect of understanding what he's doing. Like there was the liquid that you saw that you were like, oh wow, that was really nice. I agree, It was really nice, but I think it would have looked 10 times better, 100 times better if he really slowed down that fold that he was doing, because that fold was cool. I just think with him, the only thing that would make it look better is his speed control. And I think Mike Outlaw actually said that, and if you click his judgment where it says, all right, here we go, I think he says for Hunter to slow down some of his execution. I would like to see a more delicate approach to the speed control of some of your cool dial sequences.
Right here.
As well as how you use the dial completion as a way to navigate your hand placement on the grid. That's literally what I just said.
Yeah. You pretty much, you guys are like on the same wavelength. Just reading right through what he's saying right here. Like that's quite the feat right there, my guy. Like you guys are literally hitting that same wavelength on that.
Well, it's like I get a lot of how I look at pits from Jason and Josh Lee, and they're friends with Mike, so it kind of makes sense.
Yeah, I would definitely say that being what Elixir provided with a lot of the creature base for his tech base area, which let's be real here, when it comes to doing creatures and having that level of animation that creatures are known to have. It's just very interesting to see somebody apply that as that's their tech base. You know, this is literally where my tech-based concepts are going to reside. And then a lot more of his flow-based dynamic movesets kind of set in a different kind of framing than what he was doing when he came to his creature and a lot of other tech-based concepts, you know. It kind of felt like he was unintentionally like bouncing between grid frame and box theory frame. You know, because there was a lot of points where he was like doing this and doing a lot of confusion stuff, but keeping it within the same little frame. And then he was doing a lot more of the other stuff that was actually taking up a lot more of the space. So, I don't know if he was actually intentionally trying to use box theory at all, but that's something I kind of picked up on as well. So, the other thing I also want to point out with Seismic Show is as much as I appreciate him actually like getting up a little bit higher and getting a lot lower for his king tutting stuff like that, I think he might have put himself a little bit too far because he did come out of frame on a lot of those parts where he was doing that. So definitely got a little bit careful on that.
I definitely think I need to talk to him about that. It's like if you want to use Dylan, if you happen to watch this, if you want to use your space for your tuts to traverse like your higher Y grid and your lower Y grid, right? The best ways for you to do that, right? So say you're doing your tuts here. If you want to go higher and stay in frame still, I would record while kneeling so then you can sit on your heels and then go up, because then you're moving back, you're moving up, so it stays in frame better. Right? And you can do the same thing if you have your camera correctly. You can do the same thing by sitting on your heels and throwing in your downward Y grid as well.
Yeah. It's all about just knowing that if you're going to be doing a lot more stuff above your head, to just slump down a little bit more. And if you're doing a lot more like beneath your chest level and you're going more towards like your abdomen, then like standing up a little bit taller would be the way to go. But I think how he was already standing, kind of like, that's one of the things that throws me off. So I think that's probably what some of the detriments that some people were pointing out. But yeah, if I had to choose,
I think he was recording on his phone too.
Oh, okay.
So the angle of his camera might not have been conducive to his show. I would vote for Elixir. It's just better. Like,
yeah.
Hunter is like definitely one of the top rookie contenders, but I wouldn't even call him a rookie.
Oh no, he's definitely, in terms of like just up and coming in terms of like a competitive sense, he's definitely a rising star type deal.
Oh yeah.
So,
yeah, no, I mean, I think Dylan put up a good fight, but it was not enough for a good old Elixir.
Alright. Well, I see that was match number 2. We're going to move on to match number 3.
I love these pictures of Steve. Just sitting on the side.
Right? Just randomly sitting over here. Oh, man, that's funny. Alright, as I scroll through all the comments. And our next one
boy. This one is... I watched a minute of each, and then I had to get back to work. But I could only expect how crazy the fucking hoodies is.
Yeah, this to me is definitely going to be one of those ones should be very exciting on. Mostly just because this is actually two Vietnamese, right?
I mean, I know that hoodie is Vietnamese. I don't know about Jessica.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what the origin of the last name Hing is.
Well, if it is, then it's like kudos. If not, then it's just like, hey, at least we got hoodie, right? You know.
At least we can get half of Vietnamese. But
without further ado, hoodie, show us what you got.
Show me what you got. I want to see what you got.
my man's got some long fingers, bro.
I also find it interesting this is a finger show. And I swear to God, he shot in like 60 FPS.
Interesting. Okay.
That was a nice transition.
But he did that position twice already.
Yeah.
He did it again. That's the third time he did that position already. Oh wow. Okay.
That was really cool. Okay, nice transition into clusters.
His transitions for clusters are disgusting. What do you like? It's so expected. Oh man, he's got dreads too. What? I was gonna say, do not do it again.
Clever, clever.
Okay. He did it again! The fourth time, Peter. He did that position the fourth time.
Definitely cycling.
Oh, here we go.
That was really
Where's the rotation? He has to do it soon, right? This is that was really nice.
That was nice. Oh,
I like when he does the triangles. They always look really good. Okay, thank God. Oh, here we go.
there it is.
Wait, yeah. It's. Oh my God, a fifth time? I mean, do you, like, outside of the 5 times he did this, yeah, what's up, Christian?
Randomly just autoplayed into another video. Whatever. Okay, sure. Did you play a playlist randomly on me? Okay. I don't know. Okay. Anyways.
Outside of the 5 times he hit us with the same position.
I was definitely gonna say that's what I would call a reset. Like, that is a reset position. It's a position that you always come back to, even if you like seamlessly transition right back into that position. If you go to there so many times, we can tell that like that's the position you start making your concepts with. Like, that's always a point that you kind of like when you're labbing. That's a point that you start.
Well,
like, I'm gonna start here and start doing some random stuff.
Well, the issue is he didn't even like seamlessly get to those points. As soon as he was there, it was obvious. It was like, it's here, because he would always get it from here. Like the reset was here and then here. So I'm just like, dog. But everything else was disgusting. Like,
yeah, it was completely.
A thing that I've talked to Josh Lee about is whenever I'm getting trades in person or watching shows, I generally am very stoic. I tend to have zero reaction. I tend to just watch. So if someone like manages to get a reaction out of me during like a trade or with a light show, that kind of says something. Yeah, generally, I could watch like anyone's show, and I'll just sit there and be like dead face, quiet, and I'm like, oh yeah, that show was good.
I definitely would say in person, I'm not sitting there like reacting as much, but if there's something that causes me to react, that means you're doing something good, and that's what you should be aiming for, though. That's just my opinion. So take that if you will. But that's just one of the things that if you manage to get somebody to just be like, oh shit, you know, like that's the goal. But yeah.
Dang, Jessica got quite the video to follow up with, bro. Oh my god.
And you know what the funny thing? Okay, so me and McKinley actually made a comment about that, where like the last pit that we watched on his episode, we talked about like if this played in the opposite order, this would be a different outcome. So I'm hoping it's not gonna be one of those things where it's like, oh, I kind of wish her video was first before we watched Hoodies. But then again, if I actually know the skill level of each Glover, I should probably try to go for the lesser of the two first before, you know, just instead of clicking on the top two. Just like, do it in order. But I'm lazy.
Right. Right.
But yeah, without further ado, Jessica, show us what you got.
Show me what you got.
Non-overlaid video. Okay.
Very flow oriented.
Yeah, those quintets were very flowy, and I really enjoyed them. Very nice. She's actually doing a really good job staying within the box. Very nice. Like that little whole wind up.
Oh yeah. Oh, that was cool.
Ooh. Oof.
Well, what's tough is I feel like Jessica's show had the same amount of resets
Yeah.
as Hoodies.
I was gonna say she definitely favored this whole thing. But
It's this position and this position, like
yeah,
this.
that whole like I go here, I switch it over to here, do this thing. Yeah. Either way though, I enjoyed both of those shows a whole lot. Like
I definitely enjoyed both shows, but for different reasons. I think for a pit, this definitely was like the first videos we watched, where one of them was very pit oriented, and the other felt more like, oh, I'm gonna flow in my backyard type of thing. Like I think Jessica's show was okay. I do not think it was geared to be as on par in terms of like, I guess, pit aggression, for lack of better terms.
Yeah, I will certainly say this though, if outside of being a pit battle video match, I'm already a fan of Jessica's. Like, that, her flow, her style, like the whole thing, I'm totally on board. Is very nice. I really like her approach to a lot of her tech-based concepts. It's very slowed and controlled. And she was definitely just kind of vibing to that song. And I think the song choice as well that she went with didn't really kind of fit for the category of a pit battle, but like, damn, it was, to me, it was pretty hype, like watching her show. However, in terms of like an actual pit battle, yeah, definitely Hoodie takes it for me.
Just off sheer cleanliness alone, dude. Like, just off of sheer like understanding and expertise. Like, yeah, Hoodie did the same reset 5 times, but
I was gonna say she definitely stayed comfortable and stayed in a safe zone. If that makes any sense. Like,
like so, one was very like, I'm gonna flow.
Yeah, not saying that's a bad thing. This show was a very expressive type show. Like, she was just vibing it out. She was just feeling it out, showing a very wonderful presentation. Like, I'm excited to see your next video. I don't care when it's coming out. I don't care if it's just on Glover's Lounge. I don't care if it's just on Instagram or wherever you're gonna post it. But you let me know when you post, Jessica, because I will be watching, because I really enjoy your show. Like, I enjoy your style a lot. So I'm definitely going to keep my eye out for you. Yeah? I think we're on our last one now. I think we watched 3 so far.
Yeah, so this would be our last one.
And it's a Morty pit.
It's a Morty
in it. I'm always down when it comes to a Morty pit. I'm just saying. Ooh, this is a 2 judges plus a pop vote. Which, just kind of judging from what we're already seeing in the voting category, holy crap, is it very one-sided and stony. Yeah,
Morty lost.
I just think we should let our audience wait any longer. We should probably see what Morty has to bring to the table. Because I know he's always going to bring something good. But without further ado, Morty, show us what you got.
Show me what you got!
This party's only big enough for 2 of us.
I just realized this is another finger show. Why does it take me so long to realize what I'm watching?
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay, I really like the thumb work that he was pulling off.
Just vibing, we ain't gotta get too stylish.
Ooh.
Watching you back and ride it. We ain't brand new, we polished. No ifs, ands about it. Breath in the air so vibrant.
Nice braids.
Perfect timing, to be honest. We can go 14 grams. Not trying to be just friends. We can make love, make plans. Even if it's just pretend, yeah. We can go 14 grams. Baby, ain't this your jam? I'ma do what I can to make sure this won't end, yeah. We can go 14 grams. Not trying to be just friends. Oh, we can make love, make plans. Even if it's just pretend, oh, we can go 14 grams. Baby, ain't this your jam? I'ma do what I can to make sure this won't end, yeah. Shots to the head, pot to the head. Still none of these things got to my head.
That was nice.
Very nice. Nice transition from a very technical concept to more flowy, liquidy concept.
And I know about stress, know about risk, but it is what it is. When it's love in a mix, I'm open to fall. See myself broke for you ain't had a crib. I'd never be done if you ain't had it all. Wanna be there when you don't feel the best. Everything ain't but flesh. But since you arrived in the rain and the passion remains, I'ma tell you again, yeah. We can go 14 grams. Not trying to be just friends. We can make love, make plans. Even if it's just pretend, yeah. We can go 14 grams. Baby, ain't this your jam? I'ma do what I can to make sure this won't end, yeah. We can go 14 grams. Not trying to be just friends. Oh, we can make love, make plans. Even if it's just pretend. Oh, we can go 14.
I love his tucks, the whole tucking thing that he does.
Yeah, tucking the cluster.
Yeah, I call those cluster tucks. Like,
Cluster tucks.
yeah, it's like the perfect name for him too.
God.
Well,
There's a lot to take in.
That was he just came out of the gate just throwing all these okay. Here's something I gotta say. The thing that I love about Morty's show the most is there's this approach that he comes with where he's this and brings it together, and it literally feels like it's doing this. Like he literally like brings it out, expands it, and compresses it, and then expands it some more, and then compresses it. You know?
I know what you mean. I know what you like. He makes his concepts really big, and then he brings it back in. Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, and so I just like how he really kind of, in a way, utilizes his use of space just by having his level of progression just start from the outside, work its way in, to work its way back out, to work its way back in. Like, it's just this really cool effect that I don't think a lot of people notice.
That's actually an idea that I have told someone before during Flowtron. I think I told Garrett to utilize something of that nature for pacing because it showcases very good understanding of your concepts.
Yeah.
And building up your concepts.
I definitely like seeing that, so I'm hoping more people actually catch on to that and actually start bringing that to the table because, man, it doesn't work. Alrighty. But
oh no, it sounds like it's gonna be really quiet.
I have a feeling that it's gonna be like that too.
But as Peter would say, Stoney, show us what you got.
Show us what you got.
Oh, this song. Oh, I'm a sucker for slow flow, dude. Oh, it's not the original.
Okay, definitely going with some creature concepts here.
That was a cool sequence.
Yeah. Nice.
Well, I can tell you something that he already does that Morty didn't do as much of, and it's patience. Like he's showing a lot more patience with his concepts than Morty is already.
Yeah. They definitely have a very similar approach to their show.
Yeah, I can see that. Oh, that was neat.
That was actually really nice. Alright, I see what you're doing there.
Because he's definitely taking the approach of like less is more. You know, he's accentuating like really basic movements to make them really nice.
Yeah, they pop out more.
Instead of doing something that's inherently complex. Okay. That was interesting.
Yeah, I found it very interesting how it was coming out forward and coming back in. It was kind of like actually like washing in and out.
That's ridiculous. This is ridiculous. These are two completely different shows.
Yeah. So okay, like when I said that their approach to their shows was have that very similar feel, is that they're very steeped in technical application, right? And I think the hugest contrast between these two is exactly what you said. Is there's a level of patience that Stoney was demonstrating that Morty didn't really show. And I mean, I know Morty's shows pretty well. I've seen plenty of them to know that he knows how to do these concepts, and I definitely agree. With the accentuations and allowing the simple moves to really like open up, as we were kind of like pointing out earlier with like dials and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You can definitely see that impactfulness, the intention from that, actually allowing those moves to pop more, to actually see more of the movements actually make more sense, as opposed to kind of, as you were saying, just kind of making it look super complicated.
I always make the comparison of like if someone's mid concept and they go really slow, right? It at least for me, right, it makes me feel as if I am like holding my breath to like engage with the move as he's doing it with like the most focus.
No, I definitely agree with that. And it's kind of the things I always like to say. It's like you gotta let the moves kind of breathe. You know, let them breathe a bit. Let the person kind of process it before you go on to the next thing. You know, again, that also really kind of is predicated on your style. Like with morphing, yes, it's this constant seamless transition where the things that you're doing, you don't let them breathe in that kind of regard. Even if you move that slow, you can still have that seamless transition and still be able to dissect it. But I definitely see the massive contrast here being that level of patience that just worked out so much more. Yeah, I definitely say in that regard, Sony does take it for me as well. As much as I love you, Morty, your shows are amazing, but it's that level of patience that let all those moves breathe very well that we were able to really see some crazy stuff that he pulled off.
Yeah, I think if Morty demonstrated the same level, even maybe like 2/3 of the patience that Stoney had, I think Morty would have took it easy. But it was very similar in the sense of like how Hunter was recording his show for him, and it's like these are moves that I understand, so I'm doing them, but he's not throwing it for a particular viewer. That's how it felt for me anyway. Like I understood Morty's moves because like I've seen enough of his shows to like understand them.
Mm-hmm.
And also it's a finger show, so it's a little bit easier to read than a light show. But it's still like that intention of throwing for someone to view your moves and see all of the intentionality behind what you're doing. It makes all the difference in terms of something like this, where whether you win or lose is strictly based on your viewer.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that as well. So it's kind of funny too, because I would usually knock points for for not overlaying, and that one, like I had to crank the volume all the way up just so I can hear the music properly.
Yeah.
So I'm just like,
Well, the thing is, it's like usually what happens is if you don't overlay, it's hard to really catch your musicality. But like, I think Stoney set the tone with his intro that he knew what he was going to be doing with that song.
yeah,
Because his intros, the musicality for his intro was just, it was chef's kiss.
chef's kiss indeed. Yeah. So for future reference, you guys, you know, I do the overlays and all that stuff for $5. You can hit me up. You know, just saying. The funny thing is though, this is actually the first Let's Watch Pit Battles episode that I can think of that had finger shows in it. Like this wasn't light shows, it was actually finger shows being thrown. And not only one match, but 2 matches were finger shows. Actually, half of them were finger shows. Like what?
It's pretty interesting.
Yeah. So I find it interesting that you come onto the show and I get 2 finger show matches. I'm like,
Yeah.
Congratulations, Dustin. You're here for the first for the series. Not 1, but 2 finger show matches. Man, it's crazy. But yeah, that's pretty much it, everybody. That is pit battles in a nutshell. You never know what you're gonna get dealt when it comes to watching these. Like, seriously, I was not expecting to see half the things that I saw, and man, did I already find like people to start following, because I really like their shows. I really like their flow.
I mean, that hoodies video, that was his first pit in like 2 years.
Damn.
Like first, like on pit battles, I'm pretty sure because he was on the list last season because he got it by raffle, and then never pit anybody because nobody wanted to pit him because they're like, why would I want to pit that guy? I would just lose. So he was holding a bottom position the whole time, which was funny. I thought it was hilarious. He was 0-0 for like 2 months, and then the list ended.
Wow.
And now he's holding a bottom position again. So I'm curious to see if he's gonna try and move up.
I would really like to see people just take that challenge. You know, if Hoodie's there, just take the challenge. I mean,
Nah, absolutely not. I'm above him right now, bro. I don't need to.
oh no, he's gonna come for you now.
Not if I keep running.
And I ran.
I mean, Peter, you of all people know I keep myself busy with pits so that people don't challenge me.
Aha.
I know how to play the game. I constantly am challenging people. I already have my next pit laid out as soon as my opponent gets his video. I'm calling out Dylan, like, if I win.
Oh. Watch out, Dylan. Here comes some butter.
He already knows. I already told him. Coming for you, big boy.
Well, of course, everybody should know you will find all of Dustin's social media links down in the description below, because I already have them from all the times we've done Table Talks, so I have that saved so I don't have to worry about it. And of course, you guys know where to hit me up at. You guys can also let us know what you guys thought about this stuff in the comment section down below. Of course, just like, share, and comment on my stuff, and do that because it's all free and it helps me out in way bigger ways than you realize. And of course, if you do also want to help me out, you guys have the wonderful opportunity to donate to me at my Ko-Fi. As low as $1 goes a very, very long way to keep the lights on around in this room. It's very, very tiny room. But other than that, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed what you had to do. Dustin, thank you so much for coming onto my show yet again, and I certainly hope we get to do this again. But I am your host, Peter, aka LPD Dubuque, and I'll see you guys all next week.
Rick and Morty reference right here. Right here.
I'm Pickle Rick!
Okay. Bye!